Hi everyone, I am Teacher Michelle and welcome to another episode of Unang Math. In this episode, I will be discussing this lesson about basic counting with coins, dice, and rock, paper, scissors. So in this episode, we will find all the possible outcomes when we toss coins, when we roll dice, and when we play rock, paper, scissors. Let's start with tossing a coin or rolling a die. Let's find all the possible outcomes. For tossing a coin, we know that a coin has two faces. So if we are going to toss one coin, then outcomes can be head or tail. So number of possible outcomes, we have two possible outcomes. How about if we will toss two coins? So if two coins, this is our first coin, this is our second coin. So this coin's face is head. Toss this coin, then outcome can be head or tail. This coin, this coin's face is tail, and if we will toss this coin, then outcome can be head or tail. So we have here four possible outcomes. Okay, now, how about three coins? If we are going to toss three coins, okay, this is our first coin, second coin, and this is our third coin. So this face is head. Toss this coin, outcome can be head or tail. This is tail. Toss this coin, outcome can be head or tail. Outcome can be head or tail. This coin's outcome can be head or tail. So number of possible outcomes when we toss three coins is 8 possible outcomes. To explain this further, in our first coin, or this is our first event, we have two outcomes. Second event or second coin, we also have two outcomes. Third event or third coin, two outcomes. And since this happened at the same time, then to find the number of possible outcomes, we already know that we have to multiply these numbers. And 2 times 2 times 2, that would be equal to 8. So 8 possible outcomes. So if we have n number of coins, then n number is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So this is n. So if we have n number of coins, what we have to do is 2 and then raise it to how many coins are we going to toss. So let's say if we will toss 4 coins, so this is 2 raised to 4, and that would be equal to 16. So 16 possible outcomes. Okay, how about for rolling a die? Die has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we are going to roll one die, then outcomes can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So number of possible outcomes, we have here 6 possible outcomes. Okay, now, how about if we are going to roll 2 dice at the same time? So, this is our first die. For the second die, it means if this face is 1, if we're going to roll this one, outcomes can be 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. Same with this die. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So 6 times, then that would be equal to 36. So we have 36 possible outcomes when we draw or when we roll 2 dice at the same time. So in here, okay, 6, that would be the outcome if we are going to roll a die and raise it to how many die we are going to roll. So let's say we're going to roll 2 dice, so it would be 6 squared. That's why possible outcomes or number of possible outcomes is 36. So in here, the point is to find all the possible outcomes when we toss a coin or when we roll a die. The first thing that we have to get or that we have to know is the outcomes. Get how many outcomes. So if it's tossing a coin, we have 2 outcomes. If it's rolling a die, we have 6 outcomes. And then raise it to how many coins or how many dice. Okay, moving on. What about the outcomes when we toss a coin or roll a die at the same time? So I have here 3 situations and we'll find out the outcomes when tossing a coin and rolling a die at the same time. So the first one here is 1 coin and a die. So if it's 1 coin, we have 2 outcomes. Die, 6 outcomes. And since this happens at the same time, so we have to multiply. So this is 2 times 6, and we know that this is equal to 12. So 12 outcomes. What about for 2 coins and 1 die? So coin, 2 outcomes. 2 coins, then we have to raise it by 2. And die has 6 outcomes. And since this happened at the same time, so we have to multiply. So this is now equal to 24 outcomes. Okay, what about this one? 3 coins and 2 dice. Okay, again, coin. We have 2 outcomes. And how many coins? 3 coins. So we have to raise it by 3. So 2 raised to 3. And we also have here 2 dice. So if it's a die, we have 6 outcomes. And since there are 2 dice, then we have to raise it by 2. Since this happens at the same time, then we have to multiply these numbers. So that is how to find the outcomes when tossing a coin and rolling a die at the same time. Okay, now let's move on to playing rock, paper, scissors. Let's find all the possible outcomes when we play rock, paper, scissors. Let's start with 2 players. So when players A and B play rock, paper, scissors, we have here player A and this is player B. Since they are playing rock, paper, scissors, as you can see here for player A, outcomes can be rock or paper or scissors. So 3 outcomes. What about for player B? So when A shows rock, B can show rock, paper, or scissors. When player A shows paper, player B can show rock, paper, scissors. When player A shows scissors, player B can show rock, paper, scissors. So for player B, also 3 outcomes. So to find all the possible outcomes when player A and B play rock, paper, scissors, we just have to multiply these numbers because they are playing at the same time. So this is now equal to 9. So we have 9 outcomes. Okay, we have here a situation or cases where A or player A wins, tie, and player A lose. When we say player A wins, it means player B lose. Player A lose, meaning player B wins. So let's find all these cases. So if player A wins, if player A shows rock, in order for this player to win, that means player B must show scissors. If player A shows paper, in order for this player to win, player B must show rock. If player A shows scissors, for him or for this player to win, player B must show paper. So we have here 3 cases where player A wins. What about tie? So this is rock, player B must show rock also. This is paper, B must show paper also. This is scissors, so player B must show scissors. So we also have 3 cases. Okay, how about when player A lose, meaning player B wins? Okay, this is rock. In order for player B to win, this player must show paper. What about here? Player A shows paper. In order for player B to win, player B must show scissors. Okay, in this one, in order for player B to win, then player B must show rock. So we have here also 3 cases. Okay, this time, 3 players. 3 players are playing rock, paper, scissors. We have here player A, B, and C. And again, since they're playing rock, paper, scissors, then outcome for player A is 3, or there are 3 outcomes. For player B, also 3 outcomes. Player C, it's also 3 outcomes. So if we are going to find all the possible outcomes when these 3 players are playing rock, paper, scissors, again, since they're playing at the same time, then we know that we are just going to multiply these 3 numbers. So this is now equal to 27. So 27 outcomes. Okay, there is another condition here. Cases where they are tie, meaning these 3 players are tie. If we only have 2 players, the only case wherein these 2 players are tie must be, okay, they have to show same symbol. So, if there are 3, then if this is rock, this player must show rock, and this player must show rock also. So, in this case, 3 or these 3 are tie. Okay, or player A shows rock, player B shows paper, player C shows scissors. In this case, these 3 are also tie. Okay, there's another case. This is rock for player A. For player B, scissors. Player C must show paper. So in this case, these 3 players are also tie. So how many cases we have here? 3 cases. So 3 cases here also. Another 3 cases. So total, we have 9 cases where players A, B, and C are tie. Okay, now let's answer these simple questions. Let's start with this first one. A coin and die are tossed at the same time. We will let A be the number of all the possible outcomes, and B be the number of outcomes in which the coin shows heads and the die shows an odd number. So what's the value of A plus B? Okay, to find the value of A, let's go back to the first sentence. A coin and a die are tossed at the same time. A is the number of all the possible outcomes. So if it's a coin, then we know that coin has 2 faces. So outcomes are 2, head and tail. Okay, what about die? 6 faces. So we have 6 outcomes. And since this happened at the same time, we have to multiply. So 2 times 6, then we have 12. So it means 12 possible outcomes. And this 12 is our A, or the value of A. Okay, now we have to find the value of B. B will be the number of outcomes in which the coin shows heads and the die shows an odd number. Okay, the coin shows head. For a coin, if the coin will shows head, then that is 1 case. What about the second one? Die shows an odd number. Die has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For a die to show odd numbers here are 1, 3, and 5. So we have 3 odd numbers. So we are going to multiply 1 by 3 and it gives us 3. So it means 3 is our B, or it's the value of B. So what's the value of A plus B? So we have 12 plus 3, then this is equal to 15. Okay, moving on to our last question. According to this one, two players, A and B, play rock, paper, scissors. The winner rolls a die, and if an even number comes up, the player wins the game. So it's asking for how many possible outcomes are there in which player A wins the game. Okay, according to the first sentence, two players, player A and player B, play rock, paper, scissors. It's asking for how many possible outcomes in which player A wins the game. So we know that player A wins the game. And what's the outcome? It's 3, since these two players are playing rock, paper, scissors. Okay, now, this winner or player A, since he's the winner, he can, or this winner can roll a die. So if an even number comes up, then that player wins the game. So if it's a die, 6 faces. Okay. If an even number comes up, so even number we have here 2, 4, 6. So we have 3 even numbers. So how many possible outcomes are there in which A wins the game? So that means we have to multiply 3 times 3 and it gives us 9. So there are 9 possible outcomes in which player A wins the game.